Hello, I'm Erica, and I'm here today with my October wrap up. And before we begin, I would just like to say thank you to everyone. I've now been on BookTube for about 2 weeks, and so far the community has been really welcoming, and I would like to thank people for their nice comments and all of that. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to continue making videos. So October was a pretty standard reading month for me. I read 8 books, and I'm in the middle of 2 more, at least one of which I might finish before the 1st. Today's the 30th, but my work schedule is really hectic on the weekends, so I might not have time to film this weekend and didn't want to leave it until later, so I'll let you know if that happens. But as of now, these are the 8 books I have finished. The first book I finished in October was The Shining by Stephen King. And I liked this. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I don't think that the horror genre is necessarily for me. I'm kind of a scaredy cat. But I liked the writing. The pace of it was very good, and it was very psychologically creepy. I love the movie, which I had seen before, but I thought the book was a lot better. But again, horror might not be my thing, so I don't know if I'm going to be reading any more Stephen King anytime soon. Speaking of genres that are not for me, the next book I read was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I'm sorry, I don't know what all the hype is about. I didn't get it. I thought that the big twist that everyone gets excited about was kind of predictable, and I usually really enjoy very detestable characters, and I get that Nick and Amy are supposed to be very detestable characters, but I didn't think they were well developed enough, and I was very apathetic towards them. I didn't really care what happened to them. So, it was okay. It was fun. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars again, but the more I think about it, the less I like it. So that rating might be bumped down in the future. So, yep, did that. The next book I read, I did a full review of, so I will link that below, and I won't talk about it too much, but if you want to know more, you can check out that review. And that is Drown by Junot Diaz. Really enjoyed this. Again, I'll link the review below. I tried to make it kind of a theme month this month. I didn't really succeed in that, but I did. I did The Shining, and I did Gone Girl, and I also did Volume 1 of The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. And okay, I have now read Neverwhere, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and this. And I just don't think I'm a Neil Gaiman fan. I'm trying. I want to love him. Everyone loves him. I didn't think this was super. It's about 2.5 stars for me. It was fine. Some of the characters were fun, and I hear that later volumes are a lot better. So I'll have to check. Maybe I'll check those out and see how I feel about those, but it didn't grasp me at all. Usually I can read a comic like this in one sitting, and this took me a couple of days to get through because I just wasn't that interested. And I didn't love the art. I was just underwhelmed. It's been an underwhelming month for me. The next book I read was The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley. This is the first book in the Flavia de Luce series. And this was okay. Again, it was 3 stars for me. I did the horror, I did the thriller, I did more horror, sort of. Then I did a mystery. It was fine. I might continue on with the series, I might not. We'll see how it goes. Yep. This one I also did a review of, and that is Are You My Mother by Alison Bechdel. This is a graphic memoir, and it was really good, and I will link that review down below if you're interested in learning more. After that, the month picked up for me a little bit because I read Ernest Hemingway's A Movable Feast. I really like Hemingway, and I understand that people call him sexist and too much of a man's man, but I just think his writing style is absolutely stunning. And after reading this, I love him even more. I love this. I loved his discussions about hanging out with F. Scott Fitzgerald and Ford Madox Ford and Ezra Pound. That was incredible. I wish I was there. I just wish I was there. 4 out of 5 stars to this. It didn't have that lingering impact on me that a book has to have on me for me to give it 5 stars, but it was definitely awesome. I highly suggest it. Whether or not you're a fan of Hemingway, could change your opinion on him. I would give it a go. And the last book I recently finished was Willa Cather's O Pioneers. Again, Willa Cather is a favorite author of me and someone who I feel like is very underappreciated. She was a pretty prolific writer in the 1910s and 20s in the U.S., and she writes a lot about life in the Midwest and pioneer life and things like that. Clearly, O Pioneers. This was really good. I wanted a little bit more from it. It was short. It was fast. It was very typical of her. Wasn't a ton of story to it. There was a lot of character development, but I just wanted it to have a little bit more depth. And this isn't one of her most famous novels. There are definitely better ones, I would say, but if you're a fan of Willa Cather, I would say read this. If you haven't read any Willa Cather, I would say that this is not a great place to start. Currently, so those are the books I finished. I'm currently about halfway through. Can you see that? Can you see my bookmarks? Probably not. I'm currently about halfway through 2 more books, and that is Slouching Towards Bethlehem, which are essays by Joan Didion. Really enjoying this. Hopefully I'm going to finish this tonight or tomorrow, so it will technically be finished in October. And then I also recently looked at my TBR list and decided to pick up the book I've had the longest on my TBR list, which, as it turns out, was The Metamorphosis and Other Stories by Franz Kafka. I was supposed to read this in high school, and I never did. I read, like, the first 3 pages of The Metamorphosis and decided that it was stupid because I was 15, and everything was stupid when I was 15. And I remember arguing about my English teacher about it and being like, no, this story is stupid. The guy wakes up and realizes he's a giant bug, and all he's concerned about is getting to work. Which I now get is the point. I get it now. I read The Metamorphosis. It was great. But I want to finish the rest of the stories in this collection as well, and I've read a few more. I don't have much to go, so I could finish this in the next few days as well. So yeah, that was my month of October. If you've read any of these books, please let me know. If you want to discuss them further or have any comments on them, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear what you read in October that you really enjoyed or didn't really enjoy, quite frankly. Either way. And I will see y'all soon. Thanks.